I made this joke in my last movie review, which is also a movie that involves Sydney Sweeney, so I might as well continue it. Ladies and gentlemen, Sydney Sweeney does not wear jeans in this movie. I am happy to report that for all of you, so you can go see this one. Eden stars Sydney Sweeney is based on an account of a group of outsiders who settle on a remote island only to discover their greatest threat isn't the brutal climate or deadly wildlife, but each other. From director Ron Howard, also known as Opie Taylor from The Andy Griffith Show, he also directed movies like Apollo 13, A Beautiful Mind, and one of my all-time favorites, the live-action Jim Carrey Grinch. We're talking his brand new movie, Eden. So this was tonight's Regal mystery movie for me, and it was pretty easy to figure out, but the thing was, I never saw a full trailer for this movie, but the weird thing is, for like a year, I've seen images of this movie. Like at some point I was like, is this movie real? Because I saw people use images for this movie for like fake trailers, fake thumbnails, for like conversations about Jude Law and Daniel Brühl and Sydney Sweeney. Like I've just seen images of this movie, but I never knew what it was until tonight. So I'm here to talk about the brand new movie that I thought overall, I feel like this movie could have been a lot better, but I will say to find out that this movie is actually based on a true story or based on like events of what happened in this island, I found this movie more intriguing after finding out it was based on a true story of some sorts. So let's get straight into the positives. First things first, this is a pretty gorgeous looking movie. Honestly, I can't think of anything Ron Howard's ever done that's been like pitifully awful. I might be forgetting something. I feel like I am. But like the look of this movie, the greens, the yellows, like this is a damn good looking movie. And honestly, like I will still stand by it no matter what you can say about Ron Howard as a director now for his recent movies. Like I know he did Solo, kinda. But like he makes a good looking movie, and this movie very much continues that trend, like from the movie from Rush. This was really well shot and really well made. I feel like every actor in this movie gave a performance. Now, the real scene stealer is Ana de Armas. She stole this movie, and I say that in a way where she is over the top in the best ways. She's a person that comes to this island and wants to build a hotel with her and 3 other dudes, and the 3 other dudes are the only ones doing the actual work. And she brings a little bit of like comedic humor, a little bit, but she's also an evil, despicable person. And I feel like Ana de Armas really balances that, but sometimes a little over the top, but it works for most of the time. So I feel like she stole the entire movie, in my honest opinion. I think Jude Law in this movie is very good. I think he gives off more of a performance that I've never seen him really do, but I feel like he just nails this part of a person that's coming to this island who wants to get away from the world, because it's set in 1932, and we have a bunch of Germany people coming to this island. Ana de Armas, I believe, was French in the movie, but they all have different accents, and they all come from different aspects of this world to go on this island. So it brings a really cool dynamic of who is your neighbor and are they good people? And I feel like the movie does a really good job setting up each person's dynamic and why they are there and who they are. I feel like that portion of this movie was the best part. Who is your neighbor? I like that question in this movie because it's on an island. And the main people that we have is obviously Sydney Sweeney and Daniel Brühl. They're like the family. They're the ones that I feel like were the smartest ones. They came here for a reason. They came here to get away. But the thing is, Sydney Sweeney, once again, from the movie I just reviewed with Americana, she was great in this movie. And the accent she does, which I believe was German, she does a really good job. There was like one sentence she says toward the end. I was like, I can hear Sydney Sweeney. But for most of this movie, I was like, damn, like she might be a pretty face to most people out there. But these kind of movies and these kind of performances keep showing she is a damn good actress, and I got to give it up to her. Now, when it comes to performances, this is more of my mixed aspect. I will say Daniel Brühl and Vanessa Kirby, they're not bad in this movie, but they don't get much to do in this movie. And they are main characters, but they don't get anything to do. Like, Daniel Brühl is more than just building his house and doing his deeds when he needs to do. Vanessa Kirby, I would say she's got maybe 2 pages of dialogue in this movie, and she's just there to be the wife of Jude Law. Like, I don't know, those characters never got fully developed to where, like, I was enjoying them. Like, I was enjoying Ana de Armas, Jude Law, and Sydney Sweeney, but that was really it. Everyone else is kind of a side piece or whatever. Now, when it comes to this island and how everything gets put together, I would say for the first 30 minutes, it gives you a good layout of what the movie can be and what it turns out to be. And like I said, I like the lessons of, like, who is your neighbor on this deserted island? How can people who were here before anyone moved in, Jude Law and Vanessa Kirby, how the evolution changes once these new people come to this island, and how these people change how Jude Law looks at things, and Vanessa Kirby, she follows his rules, and then people start to change, and then it becomes evil, and then there's murder. By that point, I would say the movie gets less and less interesting, because the movie is actually based, I believe, with the context at the very end of this movie, a book. And there are so many developing stories happening throughout this movie. It's 2 hours and 9 minutes long. I felt like every 10 minutes, there was a different POV from a different character and a different story aspect to grow. Oh, that one's closed, that one. Oh, new people on this island. Let's go on this little thing. Oh, that's about 10 minutes long. All right, let's move on to the next thing. It felt like there was a different chapter happening, and each chapter had completely different enthralling moments and different character decisions that come out of nowhere, and especially with Jude Law's character. His character definitely turns in this movie from where he begins to where you end up by the end, but it's such a quick turnaround and such a quick character decision. I never feel like the movie, like, let it sit there. But here's my other issue that you're gonna be like, Jacob, that makes no sense. After the first 30 minutes, maybe hour, I got bored. And it got really predictable. And I know it's based on a true story, but just watching movies and knowing characters and knowing the storyline of being stuck on an island with bad people and people who aren't supposed to be there and people who are there for other reasons, by the end, you can pretty much figure out these people are going to do this and this person's going to end up by this point by the end. And I will say, after a certain point, there's a certain scene in this movie where it involves a fight. Really exciting, really good stuff. After that was over, the last 20 minutes, I was like, this shit needs to hurry up. The last 20 minutes, I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta wrap this up. It was dreadful. The last 20, 25 minutes, I was like, this thing needs to end. We have reached the breaking point. We've gotten a lot of thrills in this movie. Like, the birthing scene was really intense and really well done. The fight scene, like, I'm not saying, like, I need action in my movie, but when the movie is always building with these new little story threads, at some point, the pacing of it's like, all right, it's like a roller coaster. You go up and down, up and down, up and down. By a certain point, you're like, all right, I'm ready to get off. That's this movie. It was a good high point, okay low points, good high points, okay low points. Now I'm really get bored. Now can we just go ahead and get off this ride? That's this movie, in my opinion. So overall, the performances, 90% of them really work. I thought everyone did a really good job. I wish, like, Vanessa Kirby, Daniel Brühl got a little bit more to do, but again, there was a lot of actors in this movie. Ana de Armas, very good scene stealer. Jude Law, Sydney Sweeney. The movie looks great, it looks beautiful, really good shots in this movie. But the story itself, how story threads are told, felt very bumpy to me, and by the end, I was ready to get up and leave because I was just so bored. But it's a movie that I could see people really admiring, especially me, myself. I admired it a little bit more, knowing it's based on a true story of what it was told, because it is a movie. You know how movies are. So overall, it's fine, but I wouldn't race out of the theater to go see it. I'm going to give Eden a C. And that might seem pretty low, but honestly, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying it's a movie that had way better potential, honestly. I feel like if there was certain directors could have made this story more enthralling and really engaging. I think Ron Howard's a good director, but he might not have been like the number one option. So, but he's probably the one that found this story and was like, hey, I want to direct this story. I thought this is really interesting. So you know what? Good for Ron Howard. Opie Taylor, you're always in our hearts. And if you guys enjoy this movie review, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.